This morning, we're taking a look at how Democrats are hoping to reach a more diverse pool of voters in South Carolina ahead of this weekend's primary.
Plus, we're taking a closer look at how oversalting your driveway is negatively impacting local drinking water.
And we've taken the alert days out of the forecast, so you're not going to have to shovel this storm system, but you will want to bundle up. I'll tell you what it'll feel like later today.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now this morning.
Good morning. It is Tuesday, February 25th. Thanks for joining us. I'm Josh Breider.
And I'm Leah Linscheid. You're taking a live look right here at Charleston, South Carolina this morning, where candidates are preparing for tonight's Democratic debate.
The latest polls show former Vice President Joe Biden losing momentum in his home state, with Nevada caucus winner Senator Bernie Sanders close behind. They'll be joined on stage by billionaires Michael Bloomberg and Tom Steyer, Senators Elizabeth Warren and Amy Klobuchar, and former South Bend Mayor Pete Buttigieg. It's estimated black voters make up 60% of South Carolina's Democratic electorate.
We're so different than an Iowa or New Hampshire or Nevada. It gives you a taste of what could happen in the rest of the South.
Coming up in the next half hour, we'll hear more from the candidates and how they're trying to appeal to voters in that state.
CBS's Nora O'Donnell and Gayle King will moderate tonight's debate. King has been in South Carolina since Friday, taking time to learn what questions folks want answered from their candidates.
Every time I met somebody, I go, what do you want me to ask? What's on your mind? Everybody has lots of ideas, but at the end of the day, you only have 2 hours. And I know at the end of the day, people are going to say, why didn't you ask? Why didn't you talk about it? Because we can't get to everything.
So if you have a question you'd like to hear the candidates answer, you can submit them on Twitter by using the hashtag DemDebate. You can watch that debate right here on CBS. That starts at 7. Meanwhile, President Trump is continuing his tour of India today. The nation rolled out the red carpet at their own presidential palace and made the announcement that India will be purchasing $3 billion worth of U.S.-made military planes. During the president's visit, violence rocked India's capital, with deadly protests over the country's controversial citizenship laws, which offer a fast track to citizenship for newly arrived immigrants as long as they're not Muslim.
Deaths from car crashes are up in Wisconsin, but new research shows one group of people is being affected the most. Data from the Wisconsin Policy Forum finds car crash deaths among black Wisconsinites spiked between 2013 and 2018. Many of those cases came from Milwaukee County and the city of Milwaukee, where city leaders have spoken up in recent years about an increase in reckless driving. The research backs that up, showing an increase in deaths related to speeding in Milwaukee over that 5-year span, while speeding deaths decreased elsewhere in the state.
There is a reminder to drive safely on your snowmobile this season after 3 deaths over the weekend. That brings the total number of snowmobile deaths to 17 so far this year, 9 of them happening just in February. The DNR says speed and alcohol are contributing factors in a majority of those deaths. There were 16 snowmobile deaths in all of 2019.
A new study is recommending not charging Madison businesses a special fee to serve alcohol. That information was presented at last night's Alcohol License Review Committee meeting. The study looked at whether downtown businesses get a disproportionate share of EMS and police services due to high concentration of alcohol establishments. It found that while the demand is higher for police and building inspections, the study was too limited to know whether the extra fee would be an unnecessary and an effective burden. The report instead suggests looking at the structure of other fees paid by businesses, like an entertainment license.
A trial is underway this morning for a Cedarburg bartender accused of drugging a woman at work. Jacob Bannis and his parents used to own the August Weber House. The restaurant lost its liquor license after multiple women reported feeling like they'd been drugged while drinking there. Bannis is charged with drugging one woman, but prosecutors plan to call several women to testify. The defense argues the victim simply drank too much that night and only called police a few days later because she found out other women thought they'd been drugged by Bannis. If he's convicted, he could face up to 12.5 years in prison.
The Altoona superintendent facing child sex trafficking and child porn charges has been released from custody. Daniel Peggs is now under 24-hour location monitoring as he awaits trial. The conditions of his release include a 24/7 curfew and no contact with minors, including his own kids. The U.S. attorney handling the prosecution said Peggs will not be living at home. He's also prohibited from using the internet or social media. The charges against Peg stem from incidents in 2015 and 16 when he allegedly recruited and transported a minor to engage in a sex act.
Around the state, police are seeing a growing problem of con artist contractors. Detective Holly McManus with the St. Francis Police Department regularly investigates these cases. She says state law could make it easier for these thieves to take advantage of you.
The state of Wisconsin does not have any licensure requirements that, say that a contractor has to have A, B, C, and D in order to be a valid contractor.
Now, to avoid getting scammed, experts recommend checking CCAP, the Better Business Bureau, and the state's Department of Consumer Protection before you hire. Always be sure to pay with credit card as well, not cash, so your payment can be traced.
6:05 right now. Madison police are issuing a warning about an ongoing scam after a home on the east side was burglarized by a man posing as a water utilities employee. This happened on Saturday morning on Meredith Avenue. The man was carrying a small walkie-talkie and wearing a yellow or green construction vest. He said he had to check their water supply for a green dye and was allowed into the home. After he left, the homeowners noticed items had been stolen from their bedroom, including money. The Madison Water Utility says there will be instances where they will need to get into your home, but if you are unsure if it's a scam, all employees will have photo ID, as well as Madison Water Utility branded clothing and vehicles.
Members of the Madison community are learning more about the city's plans to prevent future flooding. Residents met at Weir Elementary for the latest in the ongoing watershed study that stems from the flooding back in 2018. Engineers talked specifically about the Spring Harbor watershed, sharing their findings for the first time.
The first public meeting was a general kickoff to let people know what we would be doing, and now we're here to be able to show that the model is working and it's showing what is happening on the ground right now.
The next phase of the project is to choose what flooding solutions to prioritize.
All right, it is 6:06 on your Tuesday morning, and Hattie's here with the 3 things you need to know in the weather world. Good morning, Hattie.
Good morning, Josh and Leah. Yeah, big changes even over the last 24 hours with this particular storm system. Dry northeasterly winds are really pushing all of the snow to the south, taking any accumulating snow out of our area. We are going to pick up on some cold temperatures behind this storm system, though, so get ready for more winter-like conditions with highs in the 20s. Next week, though, 40s return to the area. So take a look at total snow potential. This is the biggest change over the last 24 hours. 1 to 3 inches of accumulation, but just for the far southeastern corner of the state. Now, that's not to say we're not going to see any snowflakes here across southern Wisconsin. From Madison and points to the south, we may see a little bit of snow, but really little to no accumulation is expected with the southward shift of this storm system. So that's the big change. Here is the area of low pressure. Lots of moisture for this storm to work with. And we are seeing some snow spread across west central Illinois this morning. It's going to make its way up towards Chicago. So Chicago's still under some pretty high impacts from this particular system. But this trough of low pressure, that dotted black line, is really going to be the focus for the precipitation as we go through the next 24 hours. And if that is well to our south, it'll keep most of the precipitation out of our area as well. Now, as far as travel impacts, right now the impacts are highest where it is snowing, and that's out to the west. Denver may see some impacts from this particular system. Putting the map into motion through the day today, those travel delays, those shift into Illinois and Indiana, and then eventually into Michigan. So airports in Chicago and Detroit may be impacted later on today. Here's your travel weather forecast. The warm air confined to the far southern tier of the United States today with temperatures in the 60s, 70s, and 80s in Florida. Notice the cold air, though, spilling southward through the western part of the United States. That cold air will eventually work its way across the country, so we're going to cool things down here as well. We aren't going to see the snow from this system. However, we are going to see strong winds. Those northeasterly winds today, 10 to 20 miles an hour, they will stay strong even through the afternoon. Not expected to diminish at all. So we're not seeing that snow. You're not going to shovel, but you will have to bundle up with wind chills being a pretty big factor in the forecast today. Here's a look at our extended forecast then. We have temperatures that will drop to highs in the 20s as we go through the rest of the week. Thursday and Friday, some sunshine, but colder conditions. The next chance for real active weather then occurs as we head into next week. Let's take a look at those first warned traffic maps. Again, here across southern Wisconsin this morning, no major issues are expected. See if we can get those traffic maps to come up. There they are. No accidents to report right now in and around Dane County. So looking pretty good. It's nice to see the green on the traffic map.
And nice to see that snow moving south.
I think a lot of people are really happy with this forecast.
All right, Hattie, thank you.
You're welcome.
So chances are you do spend a fair bit of time putting salt on your sidewalk and your driveway every winter.
But Madison Water Utility wants you to check in on just how much you're actually using. Keely Arthur is live with that story. Hi, Keely.
Hi, Josh and Leah. Yes, salt use is kind of like Goldilocks. You don't want to use too much or too little. You want to find that perfect amount. And the city says the answer lies right here in this cup. They say a cup this size filled with salt is going to melt ice on an entire driveway or at least 10 squares of sidewalk. So a little really does go a long, long way. Now, the Madison Water Utility has worked really hard to educate people about this over the past few years. They say, however, salt use has gone up and up. And they know this because it's tracked by the Madison Public Health and Dane County as well. We can't keep this trend going, however, and here is how you can help.
I know it's hard when you have a cup like this to kind of get the grain spread out, but just kind of making that effort and being aware. And then when it starts to get warmer and maybe there's salt down and it's not really necessary, sweeping it up. Don't just leave it there.
I know oversalting can be really tempting, but doing so is not only harmful to our lakes and drinking water, it can also be really wasteful. Salt will no longer work to melt the ice once the temperature drops below 20 degrees. Now, the city of Madison has 23 wells. They say well 14 is actually the saltiest. It has the highest sodium levels. That well is located off of University Avenue, so it's impacting people on that part of the west side of the city. Coming up in our next half hour, we're going to talk about ways that you can cut down on your salt use and kind of replace salt with sand. Back to you, Leah and Josh.
Keely Arthur, thank you very much.
All right, 6:11 right now on your Tuesday. Hattie's keeping her eye on a storm system just to our south this morning, but it looks to stay pretty quiet across the Madison Metro today as we take a live look outside. Hattie will have your Tuesday day planner coming up.
Plus, there's a new study talking about which women might not benefit from breast cancer screenings. That's next on News 3 Now this morning.
Auto Show concept cars are great, especially when affordability is part of the concept. Announcing Auto Show savings time at your local Ford dealer. Now get great deals on Explorer, Escape, Fusion, F-150, and more. Every Ford is proudly built with tomorrow's technology today, all with huge savings. Now that's a great concept.
During Auto Show savings time, choose Escape with FlexBuy and get 0.9 for 66 financing plus $2,500 when you finance through Ford Credit.
I have been working out at the Princeton Club for 30 years. My mom, myself, and my daughter, it's been 80 years.
The fitness part stems back to even my mom, and I worked out with her.
We get to do things that a lot of people, generational, can't do. I get to play, pickleball with my mom, or I'm hiking with my daughter and the grandkids. Princeton Club is a part of my life. It would be the one thing I could not give up.
When being sick isn't as bad as not knowing why you're sick.
When questions lead to confusion.
And angst and anxiety.
When it feels like there's a tiger chasing you into the darkness.
And all you want is a little light.
A little hope.
This is when you need the best of the best. Doctors who don't just perform cutting-edge procedures and treatments. Doctors who invent them. UW Health. Remarkable medicine. Remarkable care.
Get more for your kitchen now with the Brothers Maine Big Kitchen Upgrade Sale. We want you to absolutely love your new kitchen, so you'll get big, big savings on the latest incredible products from GE and our risk-free 30-day price and satisfaction guarantee. We want you to be 100% satisfied every time. That's why we're the More Store. The Big Kitchen Upgrade Sale with more selection, more savings, and more kitchen. Now at the Brothers Maine, your local store for more since 1938.
Go in the snow plus MPG, your Subaru Ascent from Don Miller. With standard symmetrical all-wheel drive and 27 MPG highway, the Ascent will get you through in great shape. It's the roomiest Subaru ever. The Ascent has third-row seating and space for 7 or 8 passengers. The 2020 Ascent Premium. Lease from only $319 a month, 36 months, 10,000 miles per year, $19.99 due on signing. No security deposit. Don Miller Subaru, West on Odana or East Side, High Crossing Boulevard, Madison.
Don Miller.
Now, we know the Trump strategy. Try to win by attacking, distorting, dividing.
Mr. President, it won't work.
Newspapers report Bloomberg is the Democrat Trump fears most. As president, universal health care that lets people keep their coverage if they like it. A record on job creation. A doable plan to combat climate change.
I led a complex, diverse city through 9/11, and I have common sense plans to move America away from chaos to progress.
I'm Mike Bloomberg, and I approve this message.
Welcome back. Today is Fat Tuesday. You're taking a live look at Bourbon Street in New Orleans, where cleanup is underway from last night's festivities.
Yeah, partygoers will be back out on the streets soon, ready to cut up the king cake and put on some beads. This holiday is considered a time of overindulging on food and drink before Lent starts on Ash Wednesday, which is tomorrow. While Mardi Gras has its origin in ancient Roman times, the colorful and lavish modern celebrations began in 16th century France.
So speaking of Lent, lots of people will be taking in a fish fry Friday night, but if you are planning on ordering perch, it might not be on the menu. That's because we are seeing a shortage of lake perch. At this restaurant in Green Bay, the owner says he's buying European perch because it costs much less than yellow perch, which, when it's even available, is selling for nearly $16 a pound.
We simply just can't supply our bars and restaurants and customers with the perch that just really aren't available.
So most yellow perch comes from Lake Erie, but high water levels, a lack of employees in the commercial fishing industry, and a growing population of walleye has created this shortage, and it's stretched over 6 months.
New this morning, new research shows that the oil and gas industries were rewarding lawmakers for opposing environmental protections. A study from the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences found that companies spent more than $84 million on congressional campaigns in 2018. That study also found a correlation between an increase in anti-environment votes and an increase in contributions. The PNA says 88% of those campaign donations went to the members of the Conservative Party. The United States and South Korea say they may have to postpone joint military exercises due to concerns for the ongoing coronavirus outbreak. The exercises are held periodically throughout the year to prepare troops and commanders for a potential war with North Korea. However, South Korean defense minister says the coronavirus outbreak is, quote, quite serious and is limiting the movement of the troops to help the spread. Right now, there are 13 confirmed cases within South Korea's military and nearly 1,000 cases in that country. Coming up in our next half hour, we're taking a closer look at how the virus is taking its toll on the economy.
In other health news this morning, women over 75 might not benefit from breast cancer screenings. A new study looked at more than 1 million women ages 70 to 84 with no previous cancer diagnoses. The study found a small death benefit for continuing mammograms from age 70 to 74, but it didn't find the same results for women 75 or older.
More older Americans are smoking marijuana. New research published today in the Journal of the American Medical Association shows the number of people over 65 who now smoke pot or use edibles doubled between 2015 and 2018. Use was highest among women, minorities, and seniors who were married, college educated, and had mental health issues.
Older adults who are hospitalized for serious illnesses often leave the hospital with new disabilities, like trouble getting dressed or getting around the house. New research in the Journal of the American Geriatric Society shows these difficulties can lead to more hospital visits or even placement in a nursing home.
A new study suggests adults do not need tetanus or diphtheria booster shots if they were fully vaccinated as children. Oregon researchers found no major differences in disease rates between countries that require booster shots compared to those that don't. The CDC currently recommends tetanus or diphtheria boosters every 10 years for all adults.
6:18 your time on this Tuesday. Hattie's here now with your first warn forecast. How's it looking out there, Hads?
It's looking pretty chilly, that's what I will say. We don't have any snowflakes right now, but the winds are going to be the main weather story for us today. Take a look at Weather Track. You'll see a lot of clouds, but no precipitation falling from these clouds. The air is very dry here across southern Wisconsin, and outside of a few flurries, we're not expecting any snow. So this is going to be sort of a non-event for us as far as the snow is concerned. Temperatures early today are still in the 30s in many locations. So you see this map and you may think, oh, it's not so bad outside. But But the other part of the story is that there is a pretty strong northeasterly wind. So wind chills are down in the teens, and those winds will be relentless today. They will stay sustained at 10 to 20 miles an hour right through the afternoon, making the wind chill a factor even through the late part of today. Wind chills will stay in the teens and low 20s today. Here's a look at your day planner temperatures. We have a lot of clouds in the area today. We're already seeing that on our sky camera shot. Temperatures will top at 34, but again, it's not going to feel that warm even through the afternoon.
All right, looking forward to that. Thank you very much, Addie.
You're welcome.
Thanks to Pink Floyd, we know what the dark side of the moon sounds like, and now we know what the far side of the moon looks like. The Lunar Recon Orbiter spacecraft is sending data that gives us the point of view of Apollo 13 astronauts. The video features 4K resolution of the lunar surface views, including Earthset and sunrise.
While you've still got all that snow out in your yard, maybe you can follow one Green Bay man's example and turn it into art. He made sculptures of a shark and an alligator out of his backyard. Each is more than 10 feet long, and they have lights for eyes, so you can still see them at night. Neighbors say it's a fun addition to their community.
I feel like that'd be kind of creepy just to see those eyeballs looking at you at night.
I just can't get over how much snow they have up there.
A lot of snowfall. I think all I could do is a snowman, and that's about it. But
yeah, I'm not that creative.
Still ahead for us on this Tuesday, we'll tell you how you can eat free pancakes for a good cause today.
And coming up in our next half hour, we're taking a look at how rural fire departments are struggling to maintain staffing. That's when News 3 Now This Morning continues.
Have a consumer issue? Contact the News 3 Now Call for Action team.
Cobeson Buses, now hiring.
Working with Cobeson, it's definitely been great because of the flexibility. If you do need time off, they work around you. They definitely try to make it a company that's based for you.
Visit Cobeson.com to apply.
I love that one. I love it.
I love it. It's easy to fall in love with a new Chevy.
I love this one too.
And the auto show is the perfect time to see why.
Wow. I love it.
That's my next truck. Use Auto Show Cash and find the many reasons to fall in love with a new Chevy.
I love it.
I'm gonna go buy a Chevy.
Right now, get $1,000 Auto Show Cash on most 2020 Blazer models. That's on top of most other offers. Find new roads at your local Chevy dealer.
January 21st is National Hugging Day, but you do more than just give hugs. You care for everyone, and AARP is here to help with tools to navigate the realities of caregiving. Think of it as one big hug. Take on today with AARP.
It's no secret, Robertson is Wisconsin's aesthetic leader. But with results this natural, patients can keep it a secret if they want. Our secret to reducing stubborn body fat? Cool Sculpting. And now with 25% off, it's time to learn how Cool Sculpting is different at Robertson.
Find your style at Menards with 11% off Patriot Lighting.
Or you could add stylish storage with 11% off all Dakota shelving.
Insulate and save big on energy costs, plus get 11% off.
Create your dream Clearview kitchen with 11% off.
You'll be floored by our vinyl plank flooring. Get 11% off all of it.
Whatever you're working on, you'll get 11% off now at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
At U.S. Cellular, we're building a powerful new 5G network in Wisconsin that breaks down barriers. Because it's only fair that you get uninterrupted service, so you can work without obstacles. And stream without disruptions. It's 5G that works where you need it. 5G is coming soon to Wisconsin. Get ready for 5G with the latest Samsung phones. Pre-order a free Samsung Galaxy S20 5G. U.S. Cellular. Choose fair.
Auto show concept cars are great, especially when affordability is part of the concept. Announcing Auto Show Savings Time at your local Ford dealer. Now get great deals on Explorer, Escape, Fusion, F-150, and more. Every Ford is proudly built with tomorrow's technology today, all with huge savings. Now that's a great concept.
During Auto Show Savings Time, choose Escape with FlexBuy and get 0.9 for 66 financing plus $2,500 when you finance through Ford Credit.
Cobeson Buses, now hiring.
After we backed that bus out of its stall and started driving, I just loved it. We really get a chance to get to know each other. Almost everyone has a different story about how they came to bus driving, so you really end up feeling like you're part of a family.
Visit Cobeson.com to apply.
Welcome Welcome back. Trending this morning, Krispy Kreme is making your morning with the news that they're launching donut delivery. The new service will bring fresh hot donuts straight to your house from one of their 350 locations across 42 states. DoorDash will make the deliveries by the dozen. Orders can be placed on the Krispy Kreme app or website. You can get them delivered for a fee or picked up for free. Unfortunately for us Madisonians, the closest Krispy Kreme shop is in West Allis.
And you can eat free pancakes today and also have the chance to pay it forward.
From 7 to 7, you can enjoy a free short stack of buttermilk pancakes at IHOP. There are also more than 250,000 instant prizes, plus the grand prize of pancakes for life. I'm in for that.
Oh.
Local IHOP restaurants will collect donations that stay in the community and directly benefit Children's Wisconsin. Across the nation, they'll try to raise $4 million for the Children's Miracle Network hospitals and other charities. Get this, IHOP has raised more than $30 million for local charities since 2006.
So I think everybody's a fan of pancakes, but we're wondering, we want you to sound off. Would you prefer pancakes or waffles if you had the choice?
Yeah, so right now our viewers on Facebook are saying 57% pancakes and 43% waffles.
Pretty split.
I'm for pancakes all the way. I mean, I love any breakfast food, but pancakes I tend to lean to.
I think I'm changing my vote to waffles. I've decided I really love syrup, so waffles have the little
and you can like douse it a little bit more in syrup.
You can fill with syrup.
I saw one of our viewers comment, "What about French toast?" And then I started thinking, "Oh my gosh, there's another option."
Kind of a meat and potatoes girl. Give me the eggs and the sausage and the bacon. Yeah, that's where you'll find me.
Let's just get the whole buffet going. How about that?
Okay. So I think we just love breakfast.
I think so
That's
too.
the point we're trying to make.
Well, while you're on Facebook this morning, send us a picture of your morning like Linda did. Check out this shot.
We were talking earlier about how it still has lots of snow in that picture.
It does. Snow has been melting, especially over the weekend. We're not going to melt much snow today, but it will be technically above freezing this afternoon. Let's take a look at those weather graphics early today. We'll start with our pet walk forecast. Look at Hudson. Maybe this is a throwback to Valentine's Day. I don't know, but it's cute nonetheless. 34 is the high today. We've really taken the snow out of the forecast. Looks like that storm system is moving to the south, so looking good for the car wash then. Green lights all ahead for Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. No major precipitation in our area. Doppler track showing you that the snow is well to the south this morning. We may see a few flurries, but little to no accumulation is expected. Wind chills, that's where you're going to notice the weather today. Wind chill is a factor. It feels like it's in the teens this morning, and wind chills aren't going to climb much through the day. Even though temperatures will top at 34, it'll feel like it's in the teens and low 20s. So bundle up. You definitely need the winter coat today.
Today's the day I'll get that car wash.
You've been saying that for so long.
Thanks, Annie.
Stay with us. You're watching News 3 Now this morning.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
It's the Russ Darrow Auto Show Plus event. During this event, we have plussed our new Ram inventory. And you can save over $14,000 off. Plus, get no payments for 90 days. Plus, $500 more for your trade. It's the Auto Show Plus event going on now at Russ Darrow Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram.
Let's be honest. Quitting smoking is hard. Like quitting every Monday hard. Quitting feels so big. So try making it smaller, and you'll be surprised at how easily starting small can lead to something big. Start stopping with Nicorette.
At Fearings, we believe that corporate social responsibility should be a priority. One way we do that is through our partnership with United Madison and Schools for Haiti. Fearings Audio-Video Security, making a difference for our customers, our community, and our world.
Now we know the Trump strategy. Try to win by attacking, distorting, dividing. Mr. President, it won't work.
Newspapers report Bloomberg is the Democrat Trump fears most. As president, universal health care that lets people keep their coverage if they like it. A record on job creation. A doable plan to combat climate change.
I led a complex, diverse city through 9/11, and I have common sense plans to move America away from chaos to progress.
I'm Mike Bloomberg, and I approve this message.
I grew up working in my family's supper clubs. This is where it started with us as far as the fish that we serve at Culver's today. We source the finest cod and batter each fillet by hand and always cook it to order. That beautiful golden brown color and flaky on the inside. The fish fry is a Midwest tradition. It's about coming together. It's families, friends. I love bringing this tradition to guests everywhere. Mom and Dad would be proud. Welcome to Delicious.
RHD Plumbing has the most reliable professionals in the industry. With honesty you can trust to deliver quality products and workmanship, dedicated to being the best. RHD Plumbing now offers complete bathroom and kitchen remodeling, the best plumbers, and everything else you need to finish your dream project. For your home or business, get the job done right the first time with no surprises. With the reliable, honest, and dedicated plumbing professionals of RHD Plumbing, proudly serving all of Dane County.
Do you take daily prescription pain medications, but they don't help enough? Do you want more options to better manage chronic pain? University of Wisconsin-Madison STAMP Study offers free, safe, therapeutic programs to address chronic pain. The programs occur once a week for 8 weeks and pays up to $340. Call 608-212-6902 today. Again, that's 608-212-6902.
It's the Russ Darrow Auto Show Plus event. Buy a popular SUV for only $225 per month. We have a Cherokee, plus a Ford Escape, plus a Kia Sorento. It's your choice and it's just $225 a month. Visit Russ Darrow Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram during our Auto Show Plus event.
Right now, Democratic candidates are preparing to take the debate stage. We'll tell you who's surging ahead of the South Carolina primaries. Straight ahead.
And no alert days are in the forecast anymore. We're not going to see a lot of snow, but we will feel some impacts from this storm system. I'll tell you what to expect in just a few minutes.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now This Morning.
Good morning, everyone. It is Tuesday, February 25th. I'm Josh Sprider.
And I'm Leah Lynchide. 7 Democratic candidates are preparing to take the debate stage tonight in South Carolina.
They're hoping to make an impact on voters there before they head to the polls on Saturday. CBS's Danya Backus is in Charleston with the latest.
This week, the world is watching South Carolina.
7 Democrats take the debate stage tonight, the last before South Carolina voters head to the polls.
I know the time is coming to where I'm going to have to pick a candidate, and at this point, I'm not quite sure yet.
Black voters make up an estimated 60% of the Democratic electorate here. African-American congregants at this church say they're focused on the issues, not the polls.
It's important that we don't get fooled or blindsided or misled by popularity.
The polls show Bernie Sanders surging, and some candidates are upping their attacks on the Vermont senator.
Bernie Sanders just can't be trusted.
With ads criticizing his decades-long record.
Don't believe everything you hear on TV.
At the First in the South dinner last night, Sanders pushed back.
Let us go forward together and let us defeat Donald Trump.
Here in South Carolina, Sanders trails Joe Biden. The former vice president is looking for a strong victory to build momentum ahead of Super Tuesday.
You're the ones that sent Bill Clinton to the presidency, and you're the ones that sent Barack Obama to the presidency.
With its demographics, South Carolina could be a preview of upcoming primaries.
We're so different than an Iowa or New Hampshire or Nevada. It gives you a taste of what could happen in the rest of the South.
Tonight's debate is also the last before Super Tuesday next week. Danya Backus, CBS News, Charleston, South Carolina.
40% of the delegates are up for grabs on Super Tuesday.
New this morning, President Trump is calling for 2 liberal-leaning Supreme Court justices to recuse themselves from his cases. In her dissent in the court's recent stay of the so-called public charge rule, Justice Sonia Sotomayor says the court's conservative majority is, quote, putting a thumb on the scale in favor of the administration. The president is saying that's, quote, a terrible thing to say. He includes Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg as well, saying she called him a faker.
City leaders in Madison are speaking out against the Trump administration's talks to deport thousands of Hmong people back to Laos. The city council plans to vote on a resolution at their meeting tonight to condemn the deportation talks and call for an end to them. The proposal would send Hmong people who aren't U.S. citizens and have been ordered out of the country by an immigration judge. Hmong advocates fear that these people would be isolated and in danger if they were sent to Laos. Several leaders from Wisconsin, including the governor, have contacted the Trump administration to ask them to to reconsider.
Looking ahead now, a new state Senate seat will be up for grabs after longtime Republican Luther Olson announced he won't be seeking re-election. He's represented the 14th District for 16 years, covering parts of 9 counties, including Dane, Columbia, Sauk, and Dodge. Olson turns 69 tomorrow.
A U.S. Air Force reservist will get to work at his, quote, dream job after Governor Evers selected him to take over as commander of the Wisconsin National Guard. Brigadier General Paul Knapp is from Antigo, Wisconsin, and has been in the U.S. Air Force since 1992. The appointment comes after a sexual assault scandal led to the resignation of former Commander Major General Donald Dunbar.
3 police officers are on administrative leave this morning for their role in an officer-involved shooting in Milwaukee. It happened on the south side of that city yesterday when police got a call from neighbors who said bullets were fired into their homes. When they got to the scene, officers found a man matching the suspect's description and tried to stop him. They say he started running and pulled out a gun during the chase. That's when police fired.
What am I going to tell my kids, Lucy? What am I going to tell my baby? They left 3 kids without a father. Y'all could have shot him in the leg. Y'all could have took his kneecaps out. Anything. Why shoot to kill?
Police say the man killed was 27 years old. The mother of his kids say his name is Lucas Alvarado.
6:34 is your time, and Hattie's keeping her eye on that storm system just to our south. Some good news, though. Looks like less snow for us.
Yeah, big changes happened over just the last 24 hours with this particular storm. You can see where the precipitation is setting up from Rapid City down through Kansas and then over across Missouri and into Illinois, really going around southern Wisconsin. We have a pretty dry northeasterly wind that is really pushing against that snow and preventing it from moving too far to the north. So nothing showing up here on the radar map this morning. Again, those storm impacts are shifting well to the south out of the area. That's not to say we won't see any snowflakes. Again, still a few snowflakes or flurries possible from Madison and Point to the south, but really the high impact areas are going to be in that purple shaded area, and that's confined to just far southeastern Wisconsin. This does include the Chicago metro area, though, so if you have plans or flights out of O'Hare, you'll want to pay close attention to the weather. Winter weather bulletins have been dropped for southern Wisconsin and northern Illinois. From Chicago and Points to the south, it's a winter weather advisory through the day today. And then those watches shift into Michigan, where some pretty heavy snow is possible tonight into tomorrow with this same system. But for us, it's really going to be a non-event as far as snow is concerned. Your future track forecast model going through the day today, here's 5 p.m. That snow still well south of the area. As we head into the overnight hours, snow clips southeastern Wisconsin, but that's about it. We are mainly going to be dry. Now, our total snow potential, again, reflects that southern shift with the storm, 1 to 3 inches, but really just the far southeastern corner of the state. There is likely going to be a band of heavy snow south of Chicago into Michigan. What we will experience, though, will be the strong winds. We have northeasterly winds 10 to 20 miles an hour, and they're going to stay strong throughout the day today. No indication that these winds will let up, so still very breezy through the afternoon. That's going to keep wind chill in the forecast today. Your wind chill forecast, in fact, teens and low 20s is what it's going to feel like. Here's a look at your extended forecast. We will settle into a cooler weather pattern for a couple of days at the end of the week. At least the forecast, though, will be quiet with sunshine as we head into the upcoming weekend. Let's take a look at your first warned traffic maps early this morning. No major issues. It's been pretty quiet. We have good winter driving conditions on all roads here in southern Wisconsin, so no accidents to report.
Good to hear we won't see snow today, but winter isn't over. We've got a long season ahead still.
March is famous for some pretty monster snowstorms, so stay
Even
tuned.
April.
Yeah, last year into April.
Right.
That's when I don't want to see the snow in April.
None of us do. All right, thank you, Hattie.
You're welcome.
Well, we know that salt is a key ingredient in keeping our roads ice-free during the winter.
But when it comes to salting our own property, a little can go a long way. Our Keely Arthur is live this morning talking about why city officials want you to reduce your use of it. Hi, Keely.
Good morning, Josh and Leah. Yeah, we've done a lot of reports on how cities have worked really hard to reduce their own salt use, but we can do our part too. In fact, according to one county study, about 50% of the salt that ends up in our lakes and in our drinking water actually comes from private businesses salting their sidewalks and garages, and then residents salting the property around their homes. Now, the city says about 1 cup of salt is actually going to melt ice on an entire driveway or 10 squares of sidewalk. According to city and county studies, our salt use has gone up and up every year, despite increasing knowledge of the harmful effects. The biggest impacts consumers will see is in the taste of their water, but also there are negative impacts to local aquatic life in the lakes and also to people on low sodium diets. They need to be especially careful.
Any kind of chloride in the water has the potential to harm small aquatic life and the eggs that they lay in the water in the lakes and in the streams. In terms of people drinking water that might have had some infiltration from road salt, it's really going to be an issue for people who are already on extremely sodium-restricted diets. So those folks have probably already been told by their doctor to track their salt use, including in their drinking water.
Oversalting can also just be plain wasteful. It's important to remember that salts will not melt once the ice reaches temperatures below 20 degrees. So you need to be mindful of the temperature. Now, the city has 23 wells. There are different sodium levels for each well. Well 14, which is on the city's west side, just off of University Avenue, has the highest sodium levels. Officials say if you only drink out of that well for one day, you're going to get as much sodium as about a piece of bread. So not too horrible there, but definitely some room for improvement. And coming up in our morning sprint, we're going to give you some alternatives to salt. Josh and Leah.
Keely Arthur with some interesting facts there. Keely, thank you.
In Rock County, fire departments in small cities are facing staffing shortages because of a lack of volunteer firefighters. The Milton Fire Department is one of those experiencing the shortage. To run a fully staffed department, the Milton Fire Chief says the budget would have to increase by around $800,000. Without those funds, he says it's time to consider merging the Milton and Janesville fire departments.
Fires and emergency medical emergencies takes staff. You know, you've got to put the people on the trucks and get them there as soon as possible. So.
In the meantime, the department hired 1 full-time and 3 on-premise firefighters, but the chief doesn't see this as a sustainable solution.
The Mallard Stadium is working to rebuild its gift shop this morning before baseball season officially starts, after an arsonist burned it down back in October. Investigators never found out who did it, but the general manager says he's not dwelling on that. Instead, he's excited for what the future will bring.
It stinks that it happened, but all we can do is rebuild and be ready for opening day, which is under 100 days away. So it's going to be here before we know it.
GM Tyler Isham says we can expect new merchandise, plus a new layout inside. The Mallard season starts May 26th. The goal is to have that gift shop done by May 1st.
That gives us some hope for spring right there, right?
Oh, I love talking about baseball.
6:40 right now. Coming up, the latest on the coronavirus as senators prepare to get a classified briefing on the outbreak.
And we are tracking the latest numbers of flu cases in our area. We'll explain the sharp contrast between last year and this year. That's coming up after the break.
Moving Cars is starting off the new year with a bang. Many vehicles priced under $99.95 or $155 per month.
Get a 2015 Hyundai Elantra for only $89.95 or $139 per month.
Or a 2015 Jeep Patriot for only $89.95 or $139 per month.
Or a 2010 Acura TSX for $99.95 or $155 per month.
Many vehicles to choose from for under $99.95 or $155 per month.
Go to Goldman Cars East or West.
You gotta go to Goldman, GoldmanCars.com.
Choosing a window replacement company is tough. We asked our customers why they love their new Champion windows.
Working with Champion was such a great experience that they've made our home much more comfortable now.
We have saved 25 to 30% on our energy bill since installing the windows, which blew my mind.
Right now, Champion Comfort 365 windows are buy 2, get 1 free. Plus, buy now and pay nothing for a year.
I love my new Champion windows.
Let Champion help you fall in love with your home. Book your free in-home consultation online or call 888-930-CHAMPION today.
Working with Mike Bloomberg was one of the most empowering experiences that I've had.
It's important to talk to the people who know him personally.
I worked for him for 8 years in City Hall. I've been working for Bloomberg for 27 years.
25 years. Almost 30 years.
There's nobody that I respect more and felt more respected by.
Mike believes excellence is not defined by gender.
Mike builds a culture that advances women.
As the first woman ever appointed to be counsel to the mayor. He expects excellence out of everyone, but he also provides the kind of support that allows you to be that person.
Mike called to tell me you should be proud of what you've done and your name should be on that project.
He has faith in you. He believes in you.
was about always showing up and doing your best. I always knew that he had my back.
He was raised by an extraordinary woman. She supported him all along the way, and that's very much a part of who he is.
Mike supports women, he promotes women, and he respects women.
I'm Mike Bloomberg, and I approve this message.
I love that one.
I love it.
I love it.
It's easy to fall in love with a new Chevy.
I love this one, too.
And the auto show is the perfect time to see why.
Wow.
I love it.
That's my next truck.
Use Auto Show Cash and find the many reasons to fall in love with a new Chevy.
I love it.
I'm going to go buy a Chevy. Right now, get $1,000 Auto Show Cash on most 2020 Blazer models. That's on top of most other offers. See your Badgerland Chevy dealer today.
Setting the stage for the visually impaired.
Lights are dimming. The story takes place in Georgia.
The voice behind Overture Center's live audio description and how the service is enriching the theater experience for those in need.
It enhances it immensely.
Thursday on News 3 Now at 10.
Wisconsin voters deserve the truth. I'm News 3 Now's Amy Reed. I'm breaking down political ads, explaining whose money is behind them and separating truth from misinformation. Get the facts with Reality Check, only on News 3 Now.
Welcome back. The number of flu cases is up substantially in our area this morning. Just this past week, nearly 200 adults tested positive for the flu at UW Health, bringing this season's numbers up to 929 total. That's compared to right around 200 this time last year. Then there's children. So far this year, the hospital has treated 821 pediatric cases, 125 just this week. That's compared to 76 this time last year. UW Health is actually changing some of its protocol to try and stop the spread of the flu.
One example of that is how at the American Family Children's Hospital right now, we've been limiting sibling contacts within the hospital itself, which is the first time we've done that in about 10 years.
Area school districts, including Middleton, Verona, and Sun Prairie, tell us they haven't noticed any more students out sick this year compared to other years.
Breaking overnight, more than 80,000 people worldwide are now infected with coronavirus. The World Health Organization says it's too early to call the outbreak a pandemic, but it is warning everyone to prepare. The outbreak is spreading in clusters in countries like South Korea and Italy, where some areas are living under new restrictions to try and limit everyone's exposure to the virus.
The coronavirus could be affecting your savings and retirement plans. Senators are expected to get a classified briefing today on the virus after the stock market wiped out all of its gains for 2020. Investors expect the volatility to continue, with the fear that the downturn will go beyond the U.S. economy and hit the world economy as well.
6:45 now. We'll send it out to Hattie on the Hadio patio this morning, where it's quite chilly to start us off on this Tuesday. Hi, Hads.
Good morning, Josh and Leah. You are right. It is very chilly, not necessarily because of the temperature, but because of the winds this morning. No alert days in the forecast. I have our sky camera shot from the Queen Bee Radio Skycam zoomed in on the Platteville Water Tower. There was a nice sunrise, but it looks like the clouds have overcome that now, so we're not seeing as many colors on the horizon. Winds are the big weather story today. It is going to feel cold outside. Our wind speeds right now are from the northeast around 10 to 20 miles an hour in most locations. So that's sending those wind chills down into the teens, even though it's actually in the low 30s in many spots this morning. So take a look at your future track wind chill forecast. As you head to work and school, it's still going to feel like the teens. It'll feel like it's in the low to mid 20s for a brief time around the lunch hour, but that's about as warm as it gets. By the evening, wind chills are back into the teens. So our winds stay strong all day today. That means as you send the kids to the bus stop, make sure they're bundled up. We have clouds in the forecast. Really not much in the way of snow. Maybe a few flurries coming tonight, but that's about it. The storm is going to miss us to the south. We have a high of 34 today with just cloudy skies. Coming up in a few minutes, we will talk about the return of colder temperatures, especially as we head through the end of the week. I'll tell you how cold it's going to get in a few minutes.
Well, that chilly weather doesn't seem to be minding the birds out there.
They're very busy and very vocal this morning.
Hattie, thank you.
You're welcome.
6:47 now. Some good news for dog owners. Your four-legged friend could soon be allowed in more places across Madison. City Council is talking about a new ordinance at its meeting tonight that could expand the areas where dogs are allowed, as long as they're on a leash. Right now, the city has a patchwork of ordinances on where dogs are allowed allowed that could be confusing to dog owners. This new ordinance would generally allow dogs on leashes at all city parks and green spaces unless otherwise specified.
Trending now, an Illinois resident is being reunited with his best friend. Kevin Coachman says his service dog was taken from his backyard in Chicago last week. Coachman is completely blind from complications after being shot multiple times during a carjacking and was paired with his dog Luca last year. A group of teens called him over the weekend saying they took his dog, but they knew it was wrong and wanted to give him back.
I was sitting right here and he walked up and gave it to me and told me his name and told me what he was doing.
Coachman says the ordeal hasn't made him bitter. Instead, he says it's renewed his faith in the goodness of people.
I love that he's focusing on the humanity of that story as opposed to the shock of someone stealing a service dog.
Well, and just kind of owning up to the mistake. I think that's the main big thing there is we all make mistakes, but you have to own up to it.
Everybody loves a happy ending.
There you go. 6:48 right now. Coming up in the morning's Fringe, why a popular fish might not be included in your Lent Friday fish fries.
Say it ain't so. But first, if you have a little kid turning 3 soon, please let us know so we can show their picture on TV. Thanks for watching News 3 Now this morning.
Look Who's 3 is sponsored by Three Bears Resort, Indoor Water Park and Conference Center in Warrens, Wisconsin.
Welcome to the all-new Dwellings. Don't miss our new Fitchburg showroom grand opening now through March 31st.
Dear Wallet, Toyota President's Day is on. Load up on tech. Load up on style. Load up on fun. And load up on savings. Hurry, get a historic deal before it's history. See you soon, your new Toyota. Right now, get $1,000 TFS cash when you finance a new 2020 RAV4 or lease a new RAV4 for $239 a month. Find yours at buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
I've always had jobs centered on helping people, but now with a nursing degree from Herzing University, I've made it a career.
Having a job was one thing, but having a career, to me, that meant something completely different. With a little hard work and a degree from Herzing University, anything is possible.
I'm possible at Herzing.
Remember when we did one thing and then we finished and then moved on to another thing?
She's just enough with
Then life got really, really fast. We stream, email, pay bills, book flights, buy stuff, email again, entertain ourselves, talk, listen, search for baby goats. OMG, I need a nap. It's just the way it works now. And it works thanks to Spectrum's unrivaled network, powering hundreds of millions of connections every day.
Oh, it's adorable.
Spectrum, think forward.
The Our Home is the training ground for her dreams policy from American Family Insurance. Insure carefully. Dream fearlessly.
Built for your next adventure, it's the 2020 Subaru Crosstrek Premium at Don Miller. With symmetrical all-wheel drive, the Crosstrek has vehicle dynamics control and EyeSight driver assist technology. Lease the Crosstrek Premium, $239 per month plus tax, 36 months, 10,000 miles per year, no security deposit, $1939 due at signing. Get all-wheel drive plus MPG. The 2020 Crosstrek Premium at Don Miller Subaru, West End Odana or East Side, High Crossing Boulevard, Madison.
Don Miller.
Dwellings, Madison's best kept $150 secret. Visit our new Fitchburg showroom grand opening now through March 31st.
Attend Sauk Prairie Healthcare's free joint replacement seminar.
6:51, time for the morning sprint.
We start with a preview of tonight's Democratic debate on CBS. Candidates are hoping to make a lasting impression on South Carolina voters ahead of their primary on Saturday. It's also the last debate before voters in 16 states head to the polls on March 3rd for Super Tuesday.
President Trump is calling for 2 liberal-leaning Supreme Court justices to recuse themselves from his cases. It comes after Justice Sonia Sotomayor wrote in her dissent of a recent court ruling that the court, quote, puts a thumb on the scale when it comes to ruling in favor of cases backed by the Trump administration. The president is now saying that it is, quote, a terrible thing to say. He includes Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg as well, saying she called him a faker.
City leaders in Madison are speaking out against White House talks to deport thousands of Hmong people back to Laos. The proposal would send Hmong people who aren't U.S. citizens out of the country. City Council plans to vote on a resolution at its meeting tonight to condemn the talks and call for an end to them. Breaking overnight, countries are canceling their residents' travel plans over news that more than 80,000 people worldwide are now infected with the coronavirus. 15 deaths have been reported in Iran. We're now learning that country's deputy health minister is one of them. The United Arab Emirates is banning all flights to and from Iran because of that outbreak.
I am concerned. I'm very concerned.
I drive right by the place every day.
Residents in Costa Mesa, California are relieved after a judge extended a temporary restraining order. It'll prevent state and federal government officials from moving infected coronavirus patients on the Diamond Princess cruise ship to a local developmental center.
New this morning, the White House is requesting $1.25 billion in emergency funding to address the coronavirus outbreak. The Trump administration expects to put at least $2.5 billion in total resources toward the response efforts. A lot of that money is expected to be taken from other government agencies, though it's not clear which ones will be affected yet.
The ripple effects of coronavirus are being felt here in the U.S., especially on Wall Street this morning. Senators are expected to get a classified briefing today on the virus after the stock market wiped out all of its gains for 2020. Investors expect the volatility to continue with the fear that the impacts will go beyond the U.S. economy and hurt the global economy as well.
You'll soon be able to get the HPV vaccine at more health clinics across the state. Planned Parenthood of Wisconsin is expanding its healthcare services in La Crosse, Sparta, and Blair. That includes giving the HPV vaccine, which helps prevent cervical cancer.
What am I going to tell my kids, Lucy? What am I going to tell my baby?
3 Milwaukee police officers won't be going into work today after being put on administrative leave for their role in Monday's fatal officer-involved shooting. When officers got to the scene, they found a man matching the suspect's description and tried to stop him. They say he started running and pulled out a gun during the chase, and that's when they fired. The mother of the suspect's kids is identifying him as Lucas Alvarado. Well, today is Fat Tuesday and the start of Mardi Gras. With the season of Lent beginning, lots of people will be participating in Friday fish fries. If you're one of them, lake perch might not be on the menu this year. A lot of those fish come from Lake Erie, but high water levels, a lack of employees in the commercial fishing industry, and a growing population of walleye are all contributing to that 6-month shortage.
And if you're celebrating Fat Tuesday, you can head over to Festival Foods and grab your paczki. The Polish jelly-filled donuts are eaten as a tradition the day before Lent. They're topped with powdered sugar. You can get them with or without icing.
Oh, that looks good.
Falls on the ice this season, but we also want to help protect the environment. That's why local officials are asking us to consider how much salt we're using to melt the ice. They recommend filling a cup this size with salt. They say just this amount is going to melt the ice on an entire driveway or 10 squares of sidewalk. Not only is lessening our salt use going to improve our environment, it's also going to help people who have low sodium diets. If you want to increase traction, instead of using salt, consider using sand. Hattie?
And our forecast for today looks pretty quiet as far as the snow is concerned. We have just a lot of clouds in the area, but outside of a few flurries late tonight into early tomorrow, that's all we're going to see from this particular storm. Clouds cover the area early this morning, so don't look for a lot of sunshine. Wind is going to be the big factor today. Temperatures will be in the 30s nearly all day, but that northeasterly wind around 10 to 20 miles an hour will make it feel significantly colder. Here's what you're going to be dealing with through the day. Wind chills in the teens and low 20s.
All right, Hattie, thank you.
And thanks for joining us this morning, folks. Have a great Tuesday. Take some time for your family today, and we'll see you back here tomorrow morning.